Good evening and welcome to the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Weekly Digital Fusion Net. This is N4NT. The name is Adam, net control station for this evening's net. This net meets each Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the Bristol Amateur Radio Club Fusion Room number 61243. The Mountain Empire Amateur Radio Society, or MERS, room 40843, will serve as a backup should the Bristol room be down at net time. Just a quick reminder whenever checking in to press the push to talk button, hold it for just a couple seconds before you start speaking with the link repeaters and the Wires X program. It takes it just a little bit of time to kick in. Whenever possible, recordings of this net are uploaded to the Ham Radio Zone YouTube page or I should say channel, and or broadcast live, and we are doing that tonight. Visit the net website, qsl.net/TCME for Tri-Cities Mountain Empire for net info and links to these and other pages. We also use a program called NetLogger, which is available for free download at netlogger.org, and that helps to follow along with the net as we use a format where each person passes on to the next. This net emanates from the Tri-Cities area consisting of counties in northeast Tennessee and the Mountain Empire of southwest Virginia. All amateurs are welcome to check in. Before we begin taking check-ins, as is a custom on our net here, we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you have a flag nearby, you want to stand and face the flag, place your hand over your heart. Veterans may render a salute, remove any headgear, and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now begin taking check-ins. When checking in, please give your name, call, and location. Let us know if you're going to be in and out. If you just simply check in, then we will come back to you for comments. We'll begin taking regular check-ins at this time. Please call now. N4NT. Please check in. Whiskey 4, November Delta Kilo, W4, NDK, Nate in South Charlotte, and I will be in for comment. 73. Okay, Nate, got you on the list, W4NDK out of North Carolina. We did do some early check-ins, so we got you number 10 on the list there. Any other stations like to check in, please call now.
This is AB8RL, Tom in Scott Depot, West Virginia. Good evening. But check me in and out for this evening, kind of time valued, but glad to check in. Enjoyed hearing you on YouTube last weekend when I was in Florida. AB8RL.
Okay, Tom, thanks for checking in. Got you in and out. Tom there in Scott Depot, West Virginia, and we'll try to. I'm off from work this week, so I'm going to try to make sure I join your net this week and try to YouTube it as well. I've done that a few times, and it's always a good, informative net, and good to have those recordings on there. Any other station like to check in, please call now. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with our first segment here. I'll go ahead and do the net topic, and then after that I'll run down the list. What we normally do is we give out the list of check-ins, and if you will listen up, if you're not on NetLogger, if you listen up and just jot down the call sign and or name of the person that's after you, we'll have you pass it off to that person. I usually give the call sign and the name. That way, if you don't have something to write with, hopefully you can at least remember the name and just say, hey, I'm passing it on to Jim or whoever. Right now, we don't have any duplicates on names, so we should be good on that. With that being said, let me find my thingy here that I read. I've about got it memorized. But anyway, I hold in my hand the envelopes as a child of 4 can plainly see. It has been hermetically sealed and kept in a mayonnaise jar on Funkin' Waggle's porch since noon today. And no one knows the contents. Well, maybe they do. But I will, in my mystical and semi-divine way, ascertain the topic for tonight. And it's an obvious and simple one. It's how did your field day go? What did you do for field day? If you didn't do anything, didn't participate, and took that time to get away from amateur radio because you may be burnt out on contests, that's fine too. Let us know. It's a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. We do the things we like, and that's perfectly okay. All right. So with the topic revealed, I'll go down the list and let everybody know who they're passing it to. So we'll start with me, N4NT, and then I'll pass it to Emmett, WE4AWJ. Emmett, you'll pass it to Dallas, KD4CCO. Dallas, you'll pass it to Ken, KD4WMX. Ken, you'll pass it to David, excuse me, got tongue-tied, KM4ZYH. David, you'll pass it to Bob, KX4DX. Bob, you'll pass it to Dave, K1WVA. And Dave, you'll pass it to Tony, KD8A, and Tony, you'll pass it to our technically our tail gunner, because the next check-in was in and out, but you'll pass it to Nate, W4NDK. So let me reset. I'll go with my spiel here, and then pass it on. Okay. Well, my field day, I took full advantage of the stay-at-home field day that the Bristol Club decided to go with. I called it my field stay, and I got my 10-year-old son to come in and make a youth participation contact. And it was funny. I asked him. I said, "Do you want to sit here and take the reins and make some contacts?" And he watched me do it. He's like, "Well, Dad, I really just like talking to people. I don't know that I like contests all that well." And I patted him on the back, and I said, "Okay, son." So I handed him my HT, and I said, throw out my call and say that you're listening. I'm sitting right here. I'll be the control operator. You can talk on a repeater all you want to. And a few folks came back to him, and he did a really good job, identified when he was supposed to, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully one day he'll have his own call sign to do that with. But in the meantime, as long as he wants to sit here with old Dad and talk on the radio, then I'm going to let him. And people have been really gracious to talk to him. But back to my field day contesting type stuff. I operated my own station. I primarily operated digital modes. I did make a few sideband contacts and a few FM simplex contacts, but the majority of it was sideband. I ended up FT8, FT4. I ended up coming up with 449 contacts, and by the time I added in the bonus points that I could add in, my straight up points for my contacts was 1,770 something. I can't remember right off the top of my head, and I don't have it in front of me, but I went a little over 2,000 points by the time I added some bonus points for social media and youth contact and everything. Normally, when a contest comes along, I operate a few hours, see what I can do with it, and call it a night, even if it's a 24-hour contest. But for field day, I was determined I was going to buckle down and really be a contester, and I did. I slept a few hours, got back up, and got back on the air, and went after points aggressively, and was really satisfied with what I came up with. All right, with that, I will pass it on to Emmett, WE4AWJ. This is N4NT.
Okay, Adam. Thanks a lot. This is WE4AWJ, Emmett in Bristol, Virginia, and I really didn't do anything this year at the field day. Actually, I forgot something else I was supposed to do, so I guess I'm just pretty much out of it, and that's pretty much all I do. Just stay in, stay away, and try to stay dry. Anyway, that's pretty much it with me, and hope everybody has a good night. Wish everybody 73. With that, I'll turn it to Katie for CCO Dallas. Take it away, Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas is usually in there. KD4 CCO, you still with us? He might be having technical difficulty. We'll try him again at the end there. After Dallas was KD4WMX. Well, good evening. Everybody else on the net. This is KD4WMX, and it is quiet. Well, I like it. Still knows, everybody knows me. I was working between my job and volunteering for rescue squad and baskets. That's all weekend. But that's what I do best at this. And like I say, I'm just a record. 22 point. I don't know what the difference is. But, and like I said, you got some normal boys. That's a good thing. And I guess I will just say 73 to everybody, and I'm going to turn it over to Kilo Mike 4, Zulu Yankee Hotel. David. Pick it up, David.
Roger, KM4 Zulu Yankee Hotel. David here in the northeast corner of Bristol, overlooking the mighty exit 7 on 81. Yeah, I've been pretty much a lone wolf here. Finally got some radios up and antennas up. Made contact with Adam Saturday, and just decided to sit here and listen and finally pick up the microphone and push the transmit button. And just sitting back. Other than that, just watching everything go by. And let me see, who am I supposed to hand this off to? Ben, I think. You can go KM4ZYA.
Up next was KX4DX. Okay, he may be busy there. We'll give folks opportunity at the end if we missed them or had to skip over them. Real quick before I turn it to the next one, something I was going to mention earlier and didn't have the information in front of me. If you don't have NetLogger, don't want to download NetLogger or whatever, and you still want to follow the net, there's a fellow that has put out an app, or not an app, but a website that mirrors NetLogger, and it's K3CLR Kilo 3 Charlie Lima Romeo.com, and you can view that with Windows. It's just a website, so you can view it with your smartphone if you're out mobile or anything like that, and you can pull that up and see who all's on the check-in list, and makes it easy to keep up with it. So I meant to mention that earlier, and I didn't have it in front of me. With that, I will turn it to K1WVA.
Okay, thank you, Adam. This is K1WVA, Dave, located in Clarksburg, West. And as far as field day, I've participated in field day with our local club. I don't have the results of that we had for field day. And today here in Clarksburg, it was hot as the dickens. Hot and humid, and I think we're expecting the same thing tomorrow. It's cooled down pretty nice now. It's 74 degrees here in Clarksburg. That's all I've got for the net this evening. So with that, I'll turn it over to KD8A, Tony in Charleston.
Well, good evening, everyone on the net. For field day, I operated out of my shack here at the house, but I did set up a generator outside and run an extension cord up the stairs and run my station off that. As many contacts as Adam, I think I'd have to fire up WSJTX and look at the log, but I think I might have had 125 or 126, all of them digital. Mostly FT4 with a handful on FT8. Did have the pleasure of putting in 4NT in the log a couple times, so thanks for that, Adam. I appreciate it. But it was a lot of fun. Kind of missed the usual get together and the camaraderie and the food. Can't forget about the food. But you're looking forward to hopefully doing that again next year. But even so, it was still a great time. With that, I will pass it to Nate, W4NDK.
KD8A, this is W4NDK. Thank you for passing it over to me. I was driving back from Northern Virginia, real close to West Virginia, a little part of Virginia that sticks up the furthest northern point of Virginia. And out in Middleburg, the big repeat around there is Bluemont, which is Mount Weather, which used to be a secret bunker for the president in case of a war. So I was driving back, so I was going all the way through the state of Virginia, through Charlottesville, down 29, through Greensboro. I was hoping to get over to field day in Denver, North Carolina, with the Lincoln County Club, but I had a baseball tournament for my son. My son is playing challenge baseball, and so I had to head out there for that, and I enjoyed it. We were socially distancing there and watching the game, and the weather was nice, and it was dry because of that Saharan dust storm that came through here. So it was nice, dry weather. It wasn't humid at all. When I got home, I tried to make some simplex contacts. Didn't make any, but I heard a lot of stories from folks and how much fun they had out at field day. So I hope to do that or do some mountain topping maybe this weekend if I get up there and go camping. But not much else. Appreciate you guys letting me check in. W4NDK, and I don't believe that AB8RL is still in, but if he is, or if anybody else who didn't check in, I'll turn it back over to N4NT Adam for him to control the net here. Thanks so much. 73.
All right, yeah, Tom just messaged me and said he was originally in and out, but he said he's back for comments, so we'll turn it to current tail gunner, AB8RL.
Okay, N4NT in the net, AB8RL. Okay, I'm back in here. Had to step away for a few minutes. Anyhow, I was in Florida last week, and I did listen to this net on YouTube. I didn't have the opportunity to get my PDN set up in time for the net, but I did tune into YouTube and enjoyed listening. The quality was absolutely just fantastic to listen to everybody. So I enjoyed that. But I got home on Saturday about 4:30. Had to put up an 80/40 antenna, in the evening. I didn't get started till about 8 o'clock at night and went to bed about 11. But anyways, I love CW. That's pretty much all I do on field days. And a little bit here, a little bit there. I made 240 CW contacts between Saturday evening and Sunday late morning to early afternoon. Anyways, glad to check in. Um, Good evening to you. Looks like we have an additional one in here. I'll tell you what, I'll just turn it over to Scott, KB8ZIO, and let him make his contacts on his field day activities. Scott, when you're done, turn it back to net control. KB8ZIO to take it in the net from AV8RO.
RL, it's nice hearing you this evening. And the rest of the folks on the net, sorry for being a late bloomer, but I was still on the other frequency talking to a couple of the other folks. But my field day experience was sort of frustrating, but man, I had the time of my life. I sat in front of the radio about 14 hours, yelling and yelling, trying to answer folks, giving my call. Nobody was answering me. So Saturday was a real big bust. But come Sunday, after everybody got tired, I could probably get through a little bit. And I made 4 40-meter contacts and 1 80 meters, all single-side manned. And, you know, it was just the time of my life, folks. I had a blast. This was the first field day that I've ever got to participate in. And I'm just looking forward to next year where we can just be all together and I'll get the full experience of it. Other than that, I just want to say thank you all for putting up with this old hillbilly and turning it back to you, Adam, in 4NT.
Okay, Scott, thanks for checking in. And yeah, Scott posted on the NetLogger Instant Messenger window that he was in there, so we got him on the list. We always welcome any licensed amateur that's monitoring YouTube or NetLogger. If you're not on the air, we'll put you on there by proxy, or otherwise we'll get you on the list and on the air. So before I go to our he's our current tail gunner. Before I go to our Town of the Net segment, I'll go ahead and see if we have any other stations that want to check in. Please call now.
N4NT, this is Casey4, EDC, Kevin and Laura Blummer. Casey4, EDC, checking in and out.
Okay, Kevin, got you on the list there. I believe this may be your first time checking in with us. Welcome to the net. Glad to have you, and we'll put you in and out there. From Laurel Bloomery, Tennessee. We might have to feature that on our Town of the Net segment one night. We probably will. The goal is to try to go through all the ones in the Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia area, and then when we do that, we may just start pulling them from all over the country. Any other stations like to check in? Okay, well, we'll take another round here in just a minute after our first round of check-ins, and we'll check back with a couple there too and see. After our first round of check-ins, we have a segment we started last week called the Town of the Net, and we feature a town either in Southwest Virginia or Northeast Tennessee that's in the map that we have in our logo for the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion Net. We try to make a short segment under the 3-minute timeout timer, not counting the introduction here. And it doesn't always have to be me featuring the Town of the Net. I welcome anyone that would like to pick a town and I've got a little form that asks a few questions about it that you could just read and answer those questions. We welcome anyone that would like to host the segment, feature their town or any other they would choose. But I'm also open to if you want to suggest a town and have me do it, I'll be glad to do that either way. All right, so let me reset and we'll go into our segment here real quick. Okay, tonight's town of the net is a little town in Tennessee called Bean Station. Bean Station is located in Granger County, Tennessee, in the easternmost part of Granger County. Granger County does border Sullivan County on the western end, and Sullivan County is where Bristol is, where I'm from. So I know a lot of the folks not from this area may be familiar with Bristol. The population of Bean Station as of 2019 was 3,113 people. The town was named for William Bean, who was one of the first European settlers of Tennessee. The town was settled in 1776 and was incorporated in 1996. That's a lot of governmental red tape paperwork there. It took 220 years. The only famous notable person I could find from the area was Mr. Bean himself that we just mentioned, not the Mr. Bean from the TV show, but William Bean. Famous notable events, there were a few, probably the most recent and outstanding, I guess, as far as noticeable or whatever. On April 5th, 2018, Southeastern Provisions, a cattle slaughterhouse and meat packing facility in Bean Station, was raided by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. 11 workers were arrested and 86 more were detained, all of whom were suspected of residing in the United States unlawfully. At the time of the raid, it was reportedly the largest workplace raid in United States history. So that's our town of the net, Bean Station, Tennessee, and I'll reset here and we'll work on some check-ins again. Okay, and Kevin was asking there on the YouTube where you get the net logger, so I'll just throw out a reminder there. It's available for free download at netlogger.org. You can follow along the net using NetLogger, or if you're out mobile or don't want to download that or whatever, there's another site you can go to that mirrors NetLogger called K3CLR.com, Kilo 3 Charlie Lima Romeo.com. Pull it up on a smartphone, select Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion Net, and you'll be good to go. You can monitor the net. Let me acknowledge a proxy check-in here, and we'll try him on the air here in just a minute too. N4 CSG, and that's Chris in Gate City, Virginia. He said he couldn't get into the 6-7 repeater. You might could try the 443 000 repeater. It is also connected to the net, and see if you can get in that way. We'll give you a shot here shortly. Are there any other stations that would like to check in with us? Please call now. Okay, let me go back up here and check in again with Dallas. KD4CCO. Dallas, are you still with us?
Well, Adam, I'm here, and I thought I was talking through the net when it was my turn, but I paused to let the repeater reset, and come to find out I wasn't on the air. So I don't know what happened. I was seeing the wires X go up and down and up and down, and I was trying to communicate via 146670. And there may have been some defense problems there. I'm not sure exactly. I've never run into that before, but there's always a first time. So, did you copy me okay this time around?
Yeah, you're making it now.
Okay, well, I'm going through the wires X using my HT, and it's probably a little bit more reliable. So, anyway, I'll finish up what I thought I was saying to the network, to the net, when I wasn't, when I was talking to myself, it seemed like. I didn't have a real good day with field day. I was running on battery power, and I ran the battery down so far that when I turned my power supply on to charge the battery back up, it overheated. So I did manage to recharge the battery with a smaller, less powerful power supply, but I didn't get back on the air after that. I was a little bit leery of that power supply getting overheated again. So it's a 35 amp, 12 volt charger, but for some reason it just really, really got hot. It was so hot if you put your finger on it, it would just about burn you. So anyway, that's my story, and I'll turn it back to Ned. Well, no, I guess I'm the bottom of the list. So I guess I do turn it back to net control. This is KD4 CCO.
All right, good deal, Dallas. Yeah, I knew you were usually would hang in there, and so I thought maybe something technical happened, so figured I'd give you another shot there. Let's give Chris in Gate City N4 CSG. He was trying to get in through 6-7, couldn't make it. I recommended trying 443, see if he could get in. So let's give him a try. Are you in there with us, Chris? Okay, not hearing him there. So yeah, I'd really like to get one of those Gate City repeaters on board with us. I know at one time they had a node on that. I think it was 444.700. Somebody had a node going on that, and it kind of went away. Yeah, it'd be nice if you get somebody to connect those guys up too. We could pull in some check-ins from over there. I'm sure they actually joined us when we first started this net some, and we got a few folks. All right, we're down to the bottom of the list once again. Are there any stations that would like to check in? Please call now.
K4HQ.
Yeah, we got Ken, K4HQ. Ken, our net topic tonight is what did you do for field day? Of course, that's strictly optional, and anything else you'd like to comment about, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Yeah, N4NT in the net, K4HQ. Ken over here in Gray. Well, I hate to say it, but I didn't do field day this year. I didn't have CW capability set up, so I didn't run. And I had other plans. I had to leave the house. I was gone for several hours, and by the time I would have got home, I did get home. I just didn't feel like getting on the radio anyhow. And that's unusual for me. I've been missing out on several contests this year, and hopefully, in due time, that'll get remedied, and I'll get back into the swing of things. But I remember my first field day in 1978 when I ran two stations at once. I was on two bands. I guess you could say SO2R, single out two radios of 80 meters or 75 and 20 meters, and I stayed up till 20 to 6 in the morning, and I was the only one up, and when the generator ran out of gas, I went to bed. So that was an interesting time for my first field day over 42 years and 43 years ago. Anyway, back to you, Adam, and good to finally make this net for a change. N4NT K4HQ.
Okay, Ken, thanks for checking in with us tonight and those comments. I have certainly enjoyed over the years watching you perform CW during the at the Bristol Field Day sites, and that was certainly missed. I'm sure this year there was a lot of points that you usually accumulate for us, and um, I've like I said, I've always enjoyed watching that and really appreciate your efforts over the years. And hopefully next field day we can get back to normal and get you set up. And I always call it poetry in motion when I watch you work CW. All right, that's bottom of the list once again. Are there any other stations that would like to check in?
Nick Control, check in. KJ4HB, John over here in Mountain City.
Okay, John, got you on the list there, and we'll go ahead and turn it over to you. Our net topic is what'd you do for field day? Of course, is that and anything else you'd like to tell us about? If you want to go ahead there.
Yeah, okay, just like to say hello to everybody on the net. I started listening, had to leave the room for a while, but field day, we operated out of our EOC over here in Mountain City, and have a lot of whatever, but any friendship, and didn't make a whole lot. Of course, we were just doing it for the fun of it. We weren't running, make any big points, but we did get an operation, and that's about it. But it gets better every year sometimes. This year, conditions a little bit better than last year for us over here. But that's about it, Adam. I just happened to think about this one, and someone brought it up in our 400 here. So anyway, whoever, I guess Ron over there in Rogue Mountain may have brought it up. So anyway, that's about it for over here in Mountain City. Back to you, Adam.
Okay, John, good to hear from you there in Mountain City, and yeah, you had mentioned I think someone had brought up on one of your repeaters over there the net, and that's something I haven't mentioned in quite a few months, but we certainly welcome any repeaters or nodes that want to connect in with the net, and we would like to, if you want to be a regular, if you're connecting a repeater on a regular basis. Let us know. Send me an email. You can go to the MyQRZ and get my email, or the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion Net website. Just let me know, and we will put you on the list that we have on the website, so folks can search and find it and that kind of thing. We certainly welcome any regular connections from anywhere. You know, we emanate from the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire area, but we welcome amateurs from all over the United States and all over the world, for that matter. All right. With that being said, is there anyone else that would like to check in? Please call now. Okay, does anyone that's currently on the list, I know we had a couple in and outs, and a couple that, or well, at least one left that didn't come back, so we'll open the floor for anyone that's on the list that has anything additional for the net. Okay, sorry, I might have been a little quick on the trigger there. Let me kick that horse one more time, see if he's still dead. Anyone else like to check in before we close? Okay, just a reminder, if you'd like to host our Town of the Net segment, or you want to suggest your town as being part of the Town of the Net segment, um, just shoot me an email and let me know. Any town that we feature as Town of the Net, anyone that checks in from that town, we'll mark you as a VIP on NetLogger. It doesn't really carry any special privileges, but it does highlight you in this nice little maroon color and marks you as a VIP. So, hey, at least you got that, right? Um, all right. We had a total number of 16 check-ins counting net control, and there were 3 states represented tonight. Very well represented, though, each one. And no additional countries other than the United States. And thanks to each of you for taking the time to check into the net. This is N4NT, closing the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion net at 10:11 p.m. 7-3, good night. And I forgot to give the plugs for the upcoming nets, if anyone's still listening. Reminder, 443 net locally tonight, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock p.m. On the 443-000. Yard Dogs net in room 40383 at the same time, as well as on QSO America, the net with no name, room 43815, which bounce back and forth between those, trying to feature on YouTube. And our good friends from West Virginia have the Country Roads net on West Virginia link 46488 Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, and we try to feature that one as well on YouTube. Has some good topics and very educational. So 7-3 for real this time. 4NT.